A crow once held a grudge against a specific researcher at the University of Washington, and then taught its children to hate the same person. That researcher hadn't seen that crow in over 5 years. Fact number 1. Crows recognize and remember human faces for years. In 2008, neuroscientist Dr. John Marsluff at the University of Washington ran one of the most unsettling experiments in animal cognition history. His team trapped and banded crows while wearing specific rubber masks. A caveman mask became the threatening face. They then walked the same campus in those masks months, even years, later. The crows didn't just remember the threatening face, they dive-bombed, scolded, and mobbed the researchers wearing it. 5 years after the initial capture, over 47% of crows in the area still reacted with aggression to that single mask. Brain scans later revealed that crows process human faces using a region analogous to the human amygdala, the emotional memory center. They don't just see your face. They file it, categorize it emotionally, and update that file every time they see you. Right now, if you've ever shooed a crow away, there is a non-zero chance it remembers you. Think about that next time you take out the trash. Fact number 2. Crows use tools more sophisticatedly than any non-human primate. Here's where things get genuinely humbling. In 2002, a captive New Caledonian crow named Betty at Oxford University did something that made scientists physically stand up from their chairs. Betty was given a straight piece of wire and a tube with food at the bottom. With zero prior training and zero observation of another crow doing this, Betty bent the wire into a hook and retrieved the food. She invented a tool. Spontaneously. On the spot. But it gets more staggering. Wild New Caledonian crows, studied extensively by Professor Alex Taylor at the University of Auckland, manufacture tools from multiple materials in sequential steps. They strip a twig, then use that twig to retrieve a longer stick, then use the longer stick to reach food. That's what scientists called metatool use, using one tool to acquire another tool. As of 2023, only 3 species on Earth have demonstrated this ability in controlled experiments: humans, great apes, and New Caledonian crows. Your nearest living relative, the chimpanzee, has only demonstrated single-step tool use in the wild. The crow lapped it. Fact number 3. Crows plan for the future, a skill thought uniquely human until 2007. For most of scientific history, future planning, the ability to mentally project yourself into tomorrow and prepare for it, was considered a hallmark of human consciousness. Then Nicola Clayton and her team at Cambridge University published research in the journal Nature in 2007 that destroyed that assumption. Western scrub jays, close relatives of crows in the corvid family, were allowed to learn that one room they slept in provided no breakfast, while another room always did. When given the opportunity the evening before, the birds cached food specifically in the no-breakfast room, preparing for a future they hadn't experienced yet in that exact context. They weren't acting on instinct. They were planning. Clayton described it as evidence of episodic-like memory, the ability to remember not just what happened, but where and when, and to use that memory to anticipate a specific future scenario. This is the cognitive architecture behind human retirement savings, grocery lists, and calendar apps. Crows have been running this software for approximately 17 million years. Fact number 4. Crows hold funerals and use them as intelligence briefings. This one will genuinely make you stop. When a crow dies, other crows gather around the body. Not randomly, in large, organized groups that can number in the hundreds. For years, scientists assumed this was mourning behavior, a sign of emotional complexity. Dr. Kaylee Swift at the University of Washington published research in 2015 and 2017 that revealed the truth is even more extraordinary. Swift's team staged crow deaths using taxidermied crow bodies in various scenarios: alone, near a predator, near a human. Using the same face mask methodology as Marsluff, they confirmed that crows attending these funerals were actually conducting threat assessments. They were studying the scene, cataloging what was nearby, what it looked like, and encoding that information as a danger signal. Crows that attended these gatherings were measurably more vigilant around the associated threat stimulus for weeks afterward. The funeral is a debrief. The flock is an intelligence network. Every dead crow becomes a lesson that gets distributed across the entire community in real time. Fact number 5. Crows understand cause and effect at the level of a 7-year-old human child. In 2014, researchers at the University of Auckland published a study in PLOS One that put crows through what's called a causal understanding task, a floating peanut in a tube of water that could only be reached if the water level was raised by dropping in objects. The crows not only figured out to drop objects into the water, they preferentially chose solid objects over hollow ones, heavy objects over light ones, and water-filled tubes over sand-filled tubes, all of which would raise the water level more effectively. When the same test was given to children, 7-year-olds performed at the same level as the crows. Children under 6 consistently performed worse. Let that recalibrate your assumptions. The bird you just watched steal a French fry from a parking lot has the causal reasoning of a second grader, and it acquired that ability through 17 million years of evolution rather than 7 years of childhood development. Fact number 6. Crows engage in deception and sophisticated counter-deception. Caching food, hiding it for later, is something many animals do. What almost no animals do is actively deceive other animals while caching. Studies by Nicola Clayton's group at Cambridge, published between 2006 and 2010, showed that when a western scrub jay knows it is being watched by another jay while caching food, it will return later, when unobserved, and move the cache to a new location. It performs a fake cache in front of the observer to mislead them. Here's the layer that will short-circuit your brain. Crows only do this if they themselves have previously stolen food from another crow's cache. Crows with no theft experience in their past don't bother with counter-surveillance. The crow is projecting its own past behavior onto the observer, essentially thinking, I know you might steal from me, because I would steal from you. This is called theory of mind, the ability to model another individual's mental state and predict their intentions. It was believed to be exclusive to humans and great apes until these studies. The crow is running a mental simulation of your intentions using its own autobiography as the dataset. Fact number 7. Crows can count and have demonstrated an abstract understanding of zero. In 2021, a landmark study published in the Journal of Neuroscience by Andreas Nieder's lab at the University of Tübingen in Germany revealed that crows possess neurons that respond specifically to abstract numerical values, individual brain cells that fire 4, 3, or 5 regardless of how those quantities are displayed visually. The crows were trained to match quantities on touchscreens, and single-unit electrode recordings showed neurons tuned to specific numbers firing in their pallium, the crow brain region analogous to the human cortex. But the result that made the global science press stop cold was the zero finding. Crows demonstrated understanding that zero is a quantity, that it sits at the low end of a numerical scale and is less than 1. This abstract grasp of zero as a number, not just an absence, was considered a sophisticated mathematical concept that human children don't typically master until age 4 to 6. Ancient civilizations, including the Romans, functioned for centuries without a numerical zero. The crow has it wired in. Fact number 8. Crows are actively co-evolving with human civilization and winning. Every fact so far has described what crows can do. This last fact is about what crows are doing, right now, at civilizational scale. Urban crow populations across Japan, the United States, and Europe have been documented adapting to human infrastructure in real time over just decades, not millennia. Japanese carrion crows in Tokyo were first observed in the 1990s placing hard-shelled nuts on pedestrian crossings, then waiting for cars to crack them, then waiting for the walk signal to safely retrieve the cracked pieces. This behavior was not present in rural crow populations. It emerged in urban crows and spread through social learning, younger crows watching and replicating the behavior. By 2008, the behavior was so widespread in Tokyo that traffic engineers noted it as a measurable variable in certain intersections. Crows have reverse-engineered the traffic light. Meanwhile, a 2020 study from the Cornell Lab of Ornithology confirmed that urban crow brain volumes are measurably larger than rural crow brain volumes, a measurable neurological response to the cognitive demands of city living. Human civilization, which we built over thousands of years, is functioning as an intelligence accelerator for corvids in real time. We built the city. They're leveling up inside it. And here is the number that ties all 8 of these facts together into something that should keep you up at night. The crow brain is roughly the size of a walnut, about 10 grams. The human brain is approximately 1,300 grams. Gram for gram, per unit of neural tissue, the crow is running cognitive software that rivals and in specific domains outperforms the most complex brain on Earth. Evolution didn't need size. It needed architecture. And in the Corvid, it built something extraordinary. Subscribe to Moonlit Minds for daily mind-blowing facts that will change how you see the world.